Lads, lads. Hey lads, let's go ahead and choose our starter for this new region. You will not get the grunting or whatever aggressive lad. It is not a Pokemon Reborn Nuzlocke video that is exclusive to it. But we're going to be talking about our starters that we're going to choose for this next, I believe it's called the Paldea region. This next generation, what are we, Gen 9 already? Almost Gen 10. This is a nice little back spread of pretty much everybody that we got. So we have the fire type Fuecoco. We have the grass type Sprigatito, and then we have the water type Quaxly. Alright, so what I want to cover first is actually Fuecoco. So Fuecoco, his first Evo, and then his second Evo are both just pure fire type, which is honestly what I like to see. I really enjoy the pure fire type aspect, especially for your first and second evolutions of the Mon, and then like on a third Mon you can go crazy. So Skeledirge, his third Evo after Crocolore, is a fire and a ghost type. What this means is that he is going to be pretty fucking nice. Alright, so fire and a ghost type. If I can do this real quick, I'll go ahead and pull up, here we go, the weakness charts of a fire and a ghost type. So damaging neutrally, we got 4 of them. He does have, 5 weaknesses, which is like, I think 4 is like the universal standard of like a decent mon. So having 5 is a little bit higher than what you want. But the main important thing is the immunity. So he has 2 immunities going into this, which is going to be normal and fighting type, which are pretty damn nice considering a lot of early game normalish mons. Fighting type is pretty mid-game-ish for typing and for keeping it 100%. They're just not going to be able to touch this guy. You're probably going to be able to pick him up at about level 36, maybe 35 if they're generous. But look at the resistances though. I love to point these out. So we have poison. We have a quad weakness to bug because ghost does resist bug. We have steel, fire, grass, ice, and fairy. Ice type is a pretty rare typing, so I'm not sure if that's going to come into play a lot. But fairy is one of those up and coming typings where it doesn't have a lot of mons. It's another one of those rare typings like ice, but it's exclusively because it's a new typing. But we really like to see the fire and the grass aspect as well. Fire, grass, bug, those are some typings that have a lot of O buddies in them. Well, besides fire, there's not a whole lot of fire types, but those are the resistances that you definitely want on these mons. So if I may, I'll go ahead and put this guy back in the forefront. Fuecoco, Crocolore, and Skeledirge is what I'm gonna call him for now. I can't really say his name right, but hopefully that's right. But yeah, that's gonna be the fire typing. We're gonna go right on to Quaxly. So Quaxly, I love his design. Skeledirge's design is pretty fucking cool too, but I really like Quaxly's design. He literally goes from a duck to a more proper, more prosperous duck, and then eventually he becomes Quaquavel? How the fuck do you say his name? It don't matter. He looks fucking awesome. I know people aren't very much of a fan about his feet, but he's got flippers. What the fuck did you expect? I know he looks like a chicken. I think that's what the hell they were going for. I hope they were going for that, because if they weren't, it's kind of tough. But yeah, he's got like these nice little water droplets. I'm pretty sure that's more like a scarf than anything. As we've seen previously with Greninja having his tongue for a scarf, now we've got like some droplets / feathers for a scarf. He just looks very he looks noble, is the easiest way to say. He looks very noble. And he's also a water and fighting type. Again, we're seeing this trend with water as the first typing, the second typing, and then finally they're going big on the water and the fighting type. I believe last generation they did another kind of unique thing where they kept the typings for Galar, Scorbunny, Sobble, and what's the grass type one? Oh, I can't remember the grass type one. Rillaboom, there we go. We'll say his final Evo, Rillaboom. They kept them all one typing throughout the entirety of their evolutionary lines. So it was water, fire, grass, grass. You get the deal. But now we're seeing this kind of swap in from water, and then they're going big on, instead of swapping it up and just keeping us with or instead of staying the same and keeping us with just a pure typing throughout the entire go, which I really like. To fast forward through this guy, we're just gonna go ahead and pull up his weaknesses charts. He's another pretty cool mon, like I said. But we're gonna look at the resistances. It's pretty nice too. I believe it's about the same as for Coco's Evo. Damage normally, obviously gonna be damaged normally by a little bit more. And then the weaknesses, we got 5 again. Another typical, not great, but definitely not bad standard of weaknesses. Sadly, he has no immunities. That immunity line really boosts up the resistances because like all of the other resistances from the Fuecoco line that we saw, that's just the normal resistances, and then we have the baseline for immunities, which would have been normal and fighting. So that gives him 2 more types that are just like pretty sweet to go into. Like if Obuddy swaps a normal type on me, I'm gonna be chilling with Fuecoco's final Evo. But if Obuddy drops a fighting type against me, I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, we're just gonna tussle. That happens a lot with these mons that don't really have any sort of immunities, like these non-steel type mons, non-ghost type mons, yeah, and so forth. I like the resistances. You know, rock is pretty prominent, bug is pretty prominent, steel is always nice to have as a resistance. Fire, water, same thing. Very similar to fire grass as we saw in the last one, and then ice is pretty cool, and then dark, you don't really see too many darks, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out. There's probably gonna be a lot of mons that have bite in this next gen. From what I've seen, there's a lot of dog mons coming soon. But yeah, that's gonna be him. We're gonna go ahead and pull back up the boys to the forefront. And yeah, Quaxley, Quaxwell, Quaquavel, pretty nice names. Definitely not something to write home about. But yeah, that's gonna be them, and we're gonna jump straight on to the grass type Pokemon, Sprigatito. We have Sprigatito, normal grass, and again, we're seeing this trend of grass, and then boom, they're gonna hit us with some crazy dual typing. If you ask me personally, I like the single typing throughout the entire thing. It just, having a mon that's just a single typing, it definitely leaves like more to want, especially if you're in like a competitive what do you call it, arena, and you want like those dual stab moves. But with the introduction of the terrestrial, what is it called, terrestrializing or some shit like that, you're gonna just be able to get another typing whenever the hell you want, and then you're gonna be able to make up for those single attribute mods who don't have those dual stabs, because you can literally create any stab move that you want. And then they have that bullshit move that literally just it contorts to whatever typing you are currently, and it'll give you the stab boost on there. So you'll have some crazy damage coming in from that move. But yeah, with Sprigatito, it's a pretty damn good design. I don't think a lot of people like it because it's a quadruped becoming a bipedal mon, and nobody really seems to enjoy that. I believe the last mon that people were really pissed off about that did that was actually Litten going into Incineroar, which was pretty wild because like I really enjoy Incineroar's design. Like I was 100% fine with them just, you know, giving them the bipedal the bipedal treatment. But there were definitely some other mons that like got it and I was pretty iffy about. But yeah, Sprigatito, he's gonna get that treatment. And yeah, I just don't, let's pull up this resistance chart. I don't like this typing. I just do not like this typing. So here we go. The reason I don't like the typing is, for one, you're gonna get hit neutral by like a couple things, which is perfectly fine. But that also means that the stuff that you're not getting hit by, either A, you're gonna resist it, or you're gonna be like extremely weak to. The first weakness I want to point out is bug. You have a quad weakness to bug. That is just really devastating. Bug types are like fairly prominent in like every single Pokemon game. They're more so prominent in the early game, going into the mid, not so much in the late game. But if the rumors are true and there are 18 gyms coming up in this next generation, that bug gym, you're just gonna have to sack. You're gonna have to sack this guy in the back and just find somebody else to take over, because like you can't. It's from the design that I see in front of me, he's probably going to be some form of a squishy mon, some sort of a sweeper, some sort of a setupper. He's not going to be like a fighter like Incineroar. You could see Incineroar and be like, yeah, that's a fighter. He's got some beefness on him. You could see Chestnut and be like, yeah, it's a fighter. He's got some beefness on him. I can't see old buddy. Let's pull this back up. I cannot see old buddy Meowscarada looking like he got any beef on him. So yeah, you're definitely gonna have to just bench this guy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a fuck ton of, oh my lord, there's an absolute fuck ton of weaknesses. We have weakness to fighting, flying, poison, quad to bug, fire, ice, fairy. Like those are just specifically we call it flying types and fairy types you do not want to be weak to those guys, because from the stuff that I saw, a lot of these mons that are coming in, we have like our new bird that's dropping. We have a lot of the fairy types. I feel like in this next gem, they're just going to start giving people fairy types. But yeah, you just don't want to be weak to these specific typings going into this next one. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull back buddy to the forefront. Sprigatito, Florgato, and Meowscarada. Now, here we go. We have the ultimate decision. Who will I be picking? We got Sprigatito, Quaxly, and Fuecoco. I have taken a good amount of time to think about this. And I just want to say, if Fuecoco was a fire and a dragon type, which honestly I kind of feel like he should have been, like, I don't know why he just, well, he looks more like a, he's a gator, you know, let's keep it on, he's a gator. But I would just love if they could have threw that dragon type on him. What I'm going to be taking going into this next one, oh goodness, I really do hate to say this because I feel like this is going to be like the thing that I get like absolutely dogged on for the rest of the time that I live. I'm taking Quaxly. I'm going to take Quaxly. So the design, like I said, is definitely nothing to write home about, but it's cool to me. He looks like a Fakemon, if that makes any sense. I know you guys have seen, or if you've seen a lot of the newer Mons and stuff like that, you understand what I mean by Mons looking like Fakemons. We have that one Mon that's like kind of looks like a baby Regirock, which is like literally something straight out of Minecraft. But yeah, this guy, he just looks like a Fakemon. To me, he reminds me a lot of a Digimon. And like that to me is just dope. And then he has the Poliwrath typing, which is water fighting, and I absolutely fucking adore that typing. Like I said, let me pull this back up. It's not bad. It's just not a bad typing. Like, look at the crazy fucking resistances that we got. Like I said, you really don't want to be weak to fairy, but we can always cover we call it those with other mons and stuff like that. And he doesn't have a quad weakness, which is like the biggest concern that you want for a mon that you're more than likely going to be carrying throughout your entire journey. I would also like to point out that normally in these Pokemon games, there's always going to be a way to get a solid grass type mid game. There's always going to be a way to get a solid water type mid game, a solid fire, well, not so much a fire type. Occasionally they keep those for mid to late-ish game, but there's always going to be a way to get certain elemental mons that you lack to round out your team perfectly. So with that being said, don't worry about picking the absolute most optimal Pokemon going into this 18, more than likely 18 gym leader challenge. As you've seen with the reborn recall Nuzlocke that we were doing until we put it on hiatus for this game. Having the most mons, having the box with the most capable mons is the easiest way to beat these gyms. You do not need to pick the most optimal mons for every single situation. No one team will get you through all of these 18 gym challenges, okay? Just play the game how you want to, have fun. If you really do need some umphs or any sort of boost to your team, message your friends, ask them how did they beat this, look on the Reddit forums, find a team that fits your style of play, go into the gym and go crazy on them. Okay, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and pull this back to the front. We're gonna go with Quaxly. It's just, like I said, he's cool, pretty solid typings. And yeah, he looks like a fucking Digimon. But yeah, guys, I just want to go ahead and tell you guys that I appreciate you all watching the videos, supporting the Reborn Nuzlocke series. It's on hiatus, it'll be back soon, but the next videos that we're going to be dropping are talking all about the Paradox Ancient and the Paradox Future mods. So I hope you guys check those out, and yeah, I'll see you all later.